What's up you guys, it's Chubrix here, and today we're going to be doing a Let's Build video for my next personal speeder conveyance here from the Star Wars movies, which is Rey's speeder from The Force Awakens. Of course, she uses this to zip around Jakku and collects all of her scrap that she goes to sell for portions of food in what is a very bizarre economy that exists on Jakku, where you just trade in scraps directly for food. This is one of the most kind of interesting kind of new glimpses into what new Star Wars was going to be when we saw this in the trailer, kind of flying across the landscape, and it was very much evoked Luke in his land speeder, and kind of set everybody's minds at ease, and we knew that we were going to be getting something that felt very much like old Star Wars. So I was very glad to be able to kind of have a stab at making this one, because it's one that I wasn't entirely satisfied with the Lego rendition that we got. I felt like Lego's one was super chunky, and especially in this dimension, it was very wide and bulky. And because Lego sets have to have things like action features in them to entice people to want to play with the thing, because Lego makes toys. It kind of suffered in the overall proportions, I feel like. And with my one, I tried to be a lot more screen accurate, of course, as I do with all of these, and focus on making it more of a model than a toy. Yeah, and I think it looks pretty decently accurate to what we see on screen. I think the addition of the dark orange color scheme alongside the dark red really sells that a lot better than the standard orange that they used in the official set. And I'm able to get a lot more detailed with my greebles and stuff on the side here to kind of sell this junk pile. And that's just something that obviously Lego can't really do, because kids have to be able to build these things and play with the thing without it falling apart, and that's not really a concern that I have. So we have different goals. But if you guys are interested in knowing how to build this little speeder, we're going to go ahead and break that down right now, so stick around. And as always, down in the description you can download the digital file for this, open it up in Studio or Stud.io, and make changes if you want, or order the parts that you need to build one yourself. So there we go. Let's jump right in. Alright you guys, and since this is a fair bit more complex than my usual Let's Build videos, I'm actually going to be doing this in several sub-assemblies, which will then assemble at the end. So I'll just show you each one first, and then we'll just do them all together. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to build is the core that goes down the center of the whole kind of lollipop section and holds everything together. All the panels on the side kind of snap into this. So we're going to kind of go from right to left. We're just going to take our 1x3 red plate. Oh, and none of these colors are actually important. I've just created stuff that kind of I had a lot of that I could standardize. I had a lot of these 1x3 or 2x3 red plates, so I just wound up using those. But for this section, because it's internal, you can just use whatever. So we're going to attach the 1x2 Technic bricks onto this 2x3 red plate, and then we're going to place our little Technic pins on the inside of that. Next, we're going to take a second 1x3. I keep saying 1x3. A second 2x3 plate, and we're going to place another one on top of that. And the reason that we're going to be doing this kind of pattern all the way down through is the golden rule that I've mentioned before of working with Technic pins when you're going to be placing stuff onto the side of it is 1 brick and then 2 plates, and then 1 brick allows you to be able to attach sideways structures to this. So then next up, we're going to take 2 more of our Technic bricks, the 1x2 gray bricks in this case. I'm going to place those on the side, and we're going to again pop in the Technic pins, or I guess these are Technic half pins. Now this is where it gets a little more tricky, because we're going to place a 1x2 plate in the middle, and then we're going to place our modified 1x1 gray bricks with stud on the side facing out, and we're doing this at a slightly different offset angle to the top ones, and that's very important later on for lining up the placement of the side panels. So then we're going to place our 1x2 plate on the side and another one on the side of that one to get that nice and level, and then one more 2x3 plate on there. Right, and then we're getting pretty close. Place another Technic brick 1x2 and a blue pin for good measure on the top of that. And then this one is going to be the 1x2 Technic brick with the 2 holes in it, and again that's for a very specific purpose. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in the bottom there. I'm going to place 2 of our 1x2 plates on the tops of these, and then we're going to take our other 1x2 here, and we're going to place the 2 modified 1x1 bricks with the stud on the side, and we're going to place those in to the center like so. So that is going to be the core strength that holds the whole ship together. So next up, we're going to build the kind of front grille section of the ship. And so we're going to start out with our 2x3 black plate, and we're going to plug in a modified 1x2 brick with the 2 studs on the side. Then in the middle, I'm going to use one of these, I believe these are called profile bricks, or I'm not actually sure what these are called, but they're a really interesting shape, and they help to give a little bit of an extra detail where from the side you can see this line between the 2 plates, which I really like. And then we're going to take our 2 1x1 headlight bricks. I'm going to plug those in the bottom. And you'll be able to see a little bit of this from the side. It's kind of exposed on the engine, and it gives it a little bit of extra detail if you just use this brick right here. Then onto the top, we're going to place a dark orange 1x2, and then our brown modified rail plates right here. One on the top and one on the bottom. And then cover the whole front with these grille pieces. I'm just using the standard gray right here, but if you want to get more fancy, you can use the dark silver that Lego uses, or even light gray. There's plenty of options for that one. And then so onto the top and bottom, we take these sloped modified bricks right here. We put one on the front there and one on opposite it. And then we place a 1x2 jumper on the top of that, and then the dark orange 1x1 cheese slope to finish that shape off. And then on the other side, we're going to take our same, again here, the curved piece, and we're going to just place a 1x1 brick onto the bottom of that, and we're going to do that again, curved piece plus 1x1. And those are going to plug into the bottom here of our headlight bricks. So the studs on here are going to hold onto that, and it just perfectly lines up so that they meet together and look like they're connected, which I really love. And then again, we just finish that off with a 1x2 jumper piece and the cheese wedge. So there is the front, and then we can go ahead and actually attach that to the previous section that we created. So there we are, we're on our way. Next up, we're going to create one of the side panels. So we're just going to take our 2x6 dark red plate, and we're going to place a 1x3 dark red tile, and then the 1x6 goes under there. And then this is a regular red 2x2 tile, and then another dark red 2x2 on there. Finish out this side with the 1x4 and the 1x3 right there. So that is going to be, actually it's on this side, panel that fills in the side gap. And so we just plug that into this 2 studs that are exposed right there. Oops, come on. There we go. And you leave this little gap right here, which is actually a part of the design where there's a little kind of air intake thing at the front of this. And so that was the reason that we offset these pieces right here, is to give that gap right in there. All right, and then we're going to build the opposite panel, and this one is considerably more complex because it has all the kind of junk and little greeblies on it. But let's get going. We'll take our 1x2 once again, and this time we can take, how should we do this? Okay, we'll start on this side. So yeah, we'll take our 1x2 plate and then our jumper piece next to that, and then one of our 1x3 kind of double jumper pieces will go in there. And then that can hold in the 1x6 plate on the bottom of there. Fill in this gap with the 1x2. And then take a regular 1x3 plate on top of that. 1x2 tile. a 1x1, and then this is actually an incredibly faded gray piece that I have, but I actually think you could just use tan. That would work just as well. Either tan or dark tan, or even just regular non-faded gray. And then we have another 1x1 in there, and then the plate to fill in that last gap right there. So that's the panel itself, and then we'll go ahead and attach all of the junk. So our lever piece sits right there, and then you put your 1x1 black stud right here, and this fairly new modified bar piece with the stud attachment goes right there, and then this just kind of crisscrosses over the top of it. Then we take our grill piece and we put that on top. That's supposed to kind of represent the net that's holding everything in place. Next, we take our modified 1x2 plate with the bar extension off of to the side, and then we place that there, and we put our clip, which is going to be what holds Ray's staff in place, and we just place that at an angle like so. And finally, we take one of these single tread pieces, which is very handily able to slot into a bar right there. So we just place that on top, and I just kind of line it up just so that the little tooth pieces go to either side of the clip. And then this is Ray's staff, which is technically, I guess, not even really part of this build. It comes with a Ray figure, but it is just 3 pieces. 2 lightsaber hilts plugged into a regular 1x3 bar. So yeah, I believe that this came with my Ray figure that I had. And then just go ahead and place that into the side like so, because if you remember in the movie, Ray kind of sticks it in at an angle into the little kind of weaved netting thing on the side of her ship. And then we can go ahead and place that onto our finished model. So just like the other side, we place it right here, push it into those 2 studs, and we just leave that little bit of gap. Next up, we're going to build the front kind of underneath exhaust section. So we're going to take one of these pretty specialized red pieces right here that has the kind of interesting grill detail off to the side. And then we're going to place our 2x2 red plate in there. And then we're going to place our 1x2 dark red jumper and our 1x2 dark red plate. Then on top of that, we're going to have a 1x3, which is going to attach into this jumper stud in the middle, just a regular 1x3 tile, and then the 1x3 double jumper piece is going to attach in to the regular plate, like so. So you get the square little kind of assembly, and then that's going to plug in to this Technic brick with the 2 holes on the bottom right here, and it's going to create an extremely secure connection. Once that's in there, that is not going anywhere. So there you go, and that just lines up really nicely right there and doesn't leave any gaps on the inside of that, which I really like. Next up, we're going to finish the underside and the little stand that goes with it. So we're going to start over here and take our 2x4 plate, and we're going to place a 1x3 brown plate on top of that. And then we can place our 2x4 dark orange on top of that one, and then the 1x4 dark orange on here. Flip that upside down, and place our 1x4 dark red and the 1x3 dark red on there. So next up, we can start to build up the kind of shaping of it. So we'll take the 1x2 cheese wedge and we'll place that there. Do the same on the other side. Then we're going to take a 1x1 cheese wedge, keep that shape going, place that here and there. Then we're going to take our 1x3 dark red plate, place it in the center, and then the 1x3 tile on top of that just gives it that nice sloped shape that we want. So then we'll take our 1x1 cheese wedge and we'll place it on the end corner here, and one right there. And then we're going to just stack up the 1x1 tile on top of the 1x1 plate. I'm just using light red here because I happen to have, or regular red, one of those, but you can use dark red as well if you want. Place that in there, and it just continues that shape through. And we're going to take our 1x1 red tiles. Oh, that one just broke. What do you know? And then another 1x1 red tile in there. The dark red color is actually something that's kind of fragile along with the brown color. So that is something to be wary of when you're building especially with a model like this where I'm taking it apart and putting it back together a bunch of times. That can happen. So then I'm going to take this Technic, I'm not really sure what to call this, Technic spacer, I guess, in brown. And I'm going to place that in the middle here onto that stud. And then that's going to hold in my stand, which is comprised of a single 1x1 clear cylinder and a 3x3 radar dish. So then place that onto the bottom of our speeder, like so, and everything just lines up nicely. Okay, so next up we're going to create the top panel. So we'll start out with our 2x4, and we'll place a 1x2 dark orange on top of that, and a 2x2 dark orange piece on top of that. And we'll take our 1x3, and we're going to just place that and leave a gap right there. And then we can go ahead and place the 2x4 dark orange right there, fill in that gap with a 1x3 brown, and then add the 1x2 on top of that, flip it upside down, go with the 2x2, and another 1x2, and then one final 1x2. So then in these hollow empty stud areas right here, we're going to place the two sides of our string piece, and that's going to be the rope that kind of hangs down and keeps all of the netting in place, you know, in our imaginations. Then we take our 1x2 dark orange and fill in that last gap right there. Then we can place this red, or dark red 1x1 plate on the front, and then put a tile on top of that. And we're going to place the 1x4 dark red plate on there, and then the tan 1x2 right there. Actually, sorry, that's dark tan. And then the windshield piece goes on top of that, which is just a trans-clear cheese wedge piece. One of these tiles in the dark orange, and a 1x1 brown as well. And finally, we'll put the little grille piece right here. That gives a little ventilation detail that's in the top of that. And then we just fill in these sides with the cheese wedges. We start with the 1x1, 1x2, and then we just alternate 1x1, 1x2 all the way down until we fill in that whole side. Then we do the same on the other side, just keeping the same pattern, you know, 1x1, 1x2, alternating all the way down until that's all filled in. And that's all just the same dark red cheese wedge pieces. And then we can place that onto the top of our speeder. And then this little string piece, actually, you know, it's probably easier to do it this way. Just place the string piece around the trash like that, so that it kind of loops on first, and then secure in the top section. So there you go, that sits on there nice and flush, connects everything together, and we're almost done with the main front body section. Okay, so now we're going to build up the little seat area where Rey's actually going to be sitting. So we're going to take our two plates here, the 2x3 and the 2x4 gray plates, plug those in together. And I have this modified clip piece with a single clip on it, and that's going to hold in our handlebars, like so. Then we can build up this little front section. We're going to take our 2x3 red plate, and we're going to plug it into our 2x4 dark red plate, and we're going to place the 1x4 behind it. I'm going to take our two 1x3 tiles in the dark red, place those to the side, and then we're going to place that onto the handlebar section, like so. And then on this empty space down here, we're going to place a 1x2 tile. So then we're going to create the kind of seat area itself. I'm going to take my 2x4 gray here, and I'm going to place a dark blue 1x2 plate in here. Again, the color for this one isn't super important, but I like just a little bit of color variation that this gives you. And then we're going to place our 1x1 gray headlight bricks in here, and then our brown cheese wedge pieces, which I believe go this way. Those are going to go into the holes provided by the headlight brick, like so. And then we're going to take our black bracket piece, and then into the bottom of that we're going to place a 2x2 dark gray rounded plate, and on the front of that the 1x2 modified clip with the bar attachments on both sides. And then that all just goes right into this handlebar section. And then we're going to place this bracket piece off to the back here. And that is what's going to hold in this dark gray jumper piece. And then this little wheel acts as the back little engine that just sits on there like so. And then that can all be plugged in to the back of the speeder. Cool, it's really taking shape now. Okay, next up we're going to create those little fins on the back side. So we're going to place our L-shaped 2x2 gray plate onto the bracket piece, and then we're going to plug one of these new modified bar pieces into the remaining gap right there. And then over the top of that we're going to place a red 1x4 slope, and then the brown 1x2 slope, and the dark gray 1x2 slope goes on top of that. And it just gives it kind of that rusted pattern that we see on those. So we're just going to repeat that, but for the other side. So we're going to take our bracket piece, the L-shaped plate, the bar piece, the 1x4 dark red slope, the brown 1x2, and then the dark gray 1x2 slope. So then those both plug in to this back section here, and we're having it where the this part, the little kind of bar end attachment sticks out forward, and those are to simulate the little pedals that Ray would put her feet on the actual model. So next up we're going to build the back engine. So we're going to place our profile 2x2 cylinder brick into this dark gray astromech head, and then in here we're going to insert a 3 long black bar, and then we're going to use that to attach this second piece. And I'm having it where the second astromech head, I'm offsetting it where the studs, the holes for the studs are offset like this to create this little pattern, which is actually quite similar to one that exists on the real prop. And then into the back of that we place a second one of these wheel pieces like we have back here, and then this whole assembly just slips in and just plugs into that stud right in there. So next up we'll do the final little piece, which is this this little kind of canopy that sits behind the seating area. So we just place one of these, I'm not sure what you call these, but anyway, this modified plate into this cheese slope, or sorry, not cheese slope, into this curved 1x2 piece right here. And then underneath this stud we place a 1x2 jumper, and then 2 single round tan studs will sit on either side of this modified piece, and those are what represent this kind of wrapped up cloth thing. And then that whole assembly just sits right there, and it just creates this little cowling that sits over the back engine as well. And so technically your speeder is done. The only thing that's left is we have this 1x2 brick in the gray, and then we place a 1x2 brown tile on top, and that just fills in the gap where when Ray isn't sitting in the thing, that just represents a little seat cushion where she would sit. When you want to place Ray in there, you just take that out, you grab your Ray figure, and you can just pre-pose her hand so it's a little easier to get her in there, like around about like so. Place her legs into the area that, right there that is cut out for them, like so, and then you just lean her forward about like so. So there is Ray piloting her Jakku speeder. And there's your little extra piece there too. So there we go. It's all complete. The largest Let's Build that we've done yet. So there you have it, you guys. That is Ray's Jakku speeder, and man, I feel like this thing is worth at least 60 portions. It was a really fun little project to design, and I'm super glad to have it to add to my little growing collection of speeder bikes and other kind of minifigure scaled items from the Star Wars galaxy. I think these little smaller things tend to get a little bit overlooked, but because they're not that flashy. But I think, you know, it's a really fun challenge to try to create these things at this scale. Mostly because, you know, minifigures are the kind of main Lego system scale, and yeah, I think just having stuff that is compatible with minifigs is pretty fun. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, you know the drill. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Once again, don't forget, in the description, the digital file exists for this model, so you can see exactly what I did. You guys can make color substitutions. Say you want to have a bright pink race speeder, you can go ahead and see which parts are available in that color, and then you can go ahead and order them, and just follow the instructions here in this video, and you can make your own race speeder. So thanks very much for watching, you guys. I'm going to get to work on the next video. I've got lots of content to bring you guys, so yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.